Hello, Albany community. I'm Chief Hawkins and I have a few updates regarding police operations. But first, I thank Mayor Sheehan for her leadership during this COVID-19 crisis, and I praise the men and women of the Albany Police Department for their unwavering commitment to serving this community despite the heightened risk that they themselves face. And a special thank you to our doctors and nurses and other essential workers for their sacrifices during this crisis. We learned last night that one of our officers tested positive for COVID-19. This is the first positive test in the police department. The officer has no symptoms and was placed on quarantine by the Department of Health. The officer, due to the nature of his assignment, had very little contact with other department personnel and no contact with the public. As you may imagine, this can be very unsettling for members of the police department. So the department is doing everything possible to ease their concerns and mitigate risks. And this includes professionally sanitizing and disinfecting work areas and vehicles on a regular basis, securing an ample supply of personal protective equipment and supplies, directing employees to stay home if they are sick, and implementing operational policies designed to minimize unnecessary person-to-person contact between officers and members of the public. With respect to public interactions, I remind the community that this department remains open and active. We are still responding to calls for service, helping those in need, promoting community policing, investigating crimes, and yes, when appropriate, even arresting individuals for committing criminal acts in this community. However, for the safety of both the officers and members of the public, and in order to minimize personal contacts, we continue to ask the community to initiate telephone reports for non-emergency incidents. Officers will continue to personally respond to emergency calls. For example, violent crimes, crimes in progress, domestic calls, calls involving minors or other vulnerable populations, and serious motor vehicle accidents. And we thank the members of the community for working with us through this unorthodox way of policing. This unconventional style of policing presents some challenges with respect to community policing. So I've been working very closely with members of the Albany Community Policing Advisory Committee, or ACPAC, in discussing methods for continuing police community engagement during this period of social distancing. Although personal interactions between police personnel and members of the community may be limited due to personal distancing, it is important that lines of communication remain open. So in order to facilitate two-way communications, I will be joining members of ACPAC for virtual call-in segments through Facebook Live. This will give members of ACPAC and I an opportunity to hear and respond in real time to comments, questions, concerns, or even criticisms from members of the community. The dates and times of the call-ins will be promoted heavily over a number of different platforms to give as many people as possible an opportunity to participate. So that's it for now. As a reminder, please complete your census. Funding for city services depends on it. And wash your hands frequently. Practice social distancing and watch out for each other. I wish you and your families well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon with more updates.